of criminal justice, but anyone who's ever been there or even near there knows it's John Jay College of Criminals. And the professors are trash. This guy, he was on Tucker Carlson, Gene, and one of the things he said, which really got Tucker riled up and pretty much exposed him to the world, was that it's okay, it's acceptable to use violence to stop people from speaking that you disagree with. And he stuck to it. Like, Tucker kept on trying to get clarification, and maybe he didn't mean what he said, but he meant it. And that's what Antifa stands for, and that's what the far left stands for. We've all suspected this for quite some time, but this dummy came on TV and said it point blank. So, I mean, it's a shame that he's going against the entire NFL, because this is a tough call where I think he's going to get edged out by the NFL.
Yeah, this is Rush having to have the baby. He's got dogs in both fights. Give me your picks, Matt.
I'm going to pick the NFL only because I think the problem with Michael Isaacson isn't Michael Isaacson. It's the buffoons are the people who hired him and the people who let him keep his job. Those are the buffoons here.
Russ, who you got?
Gene, real quick, the NFL, the left has been trying to destroy the NFL for years. They went after them for the whole concussion issue. The concussion protocols were put in place. They went after them for being racist, if you remember. Team names like the Chiefs and all these other things. The left went after the NFL when all these NFL players were beating their wives and girlfriends. And now the NFL, in the most buffoonish move ever, and even though, like Matt said, they can kneel if they want to, but they allowed the left to finally destroy the NFL. The National Football Conference, the American Football Conference, these people do not represent anything American anymore, and they've been destroyed by the left finally by kneeling during the national anthem. Pitiful, buffoonish, that's my pick.
I'm actually going with Isaacson because I think the NFL doesn't really matter anymore. But what this guy did and is emblematic of what's going on in our education system. But, that's the point of the contest here, folks. We got to get everybody's votes in and let us know where you stand and who you got. The final matchup in the wild card and the final matchup in the tournament, we wanted to get a little more, inclusive, I guess. And this is really fun to do because the group that claims to be the inclusive group is the group that we're including, and that's the quote-unquote resistance. You may have seen the hashtag on Twitter. You see all the pink hats with the points going around that I'm not going to say on the air what they're called, but you know what they are. You've heard Ashley Judd say that she's a nasty woman and Madonna do the same thing, and you've seen Antifa stopping people from speaking, and they're all part of the resistance, which can't stand that Donald Trump is the president. Matt talked about this earlier on. There was no one person that we could all think of to be, a symbol of the resistance. So we chose the hat itself, the knit pink cap with the points that I can't say on air what it is, but you know what it is. I'm laughing, Matt, because again, how do you take a whole movement and, personalize it into a buffoon nominee? It's crazy how we did this.
Well, the problem with the left's resistance right now is the same problem that was with Hillary Clinton's campaign last year. They thought it was good enough just to be anti-Trump. And the left is thinking, well, if President Trump keeps saying stupid things on Twitter and if President Trump doesn't get anything done in Congress, although it looks like he just got a big victory, we'll win. And the essence of politics is convincing the other side that your side is right. And for the life of me, I have no idea what they want. They fight amongst themselves about who's the most liberal, who's the most progressive. They constantly have microaggressions against each other for anyone who might possibly disagree with each other, that as an organizational whole, I don't know what they want. So I can't sit here and try to say I'm going to have an open mind as to what you want as an overall governing philosophy. Like, I can discern like a few things here and there, but, you're not a resistance if all you're doing is fighting each other.
Pretty much, absolutely right. Russ, on the other side, we have LeVar Ball. Now, you may or may not know who this guy is because I know that you're not up on all the sporting stuff and whatever. But
I know LeVar Ball. I know LeVar Ball, what he did recently, Gene, but I'm curious as to the picture you picked with him no shirt. Can you explain where that came from?
That came from Monday Night Raw on WWE. He was on the show promoting, I guess, his brand and his sons and all the stuff that they've been doing and whatever. And he rips his shirt off and he's getting ready to rumble with wrestlers in the ring. It was a great photo. Listen, I love LeVar Ball.
this was post the Trump tweet, though? This was post all this?
It was pre-Trump tweet. Before all this...
So this guy had some fame before this whole Trump thing?
Oh, absolutely. He's living off of his son's athletic prowess. His son Lonzo Ball is on the LA Lakers. He's a rookie this year. He's having a pretty decent year. But then he's a former player himself, and then he goes on TV. He's claiming that I could beat Michael Jordan with one hand tied behind my back, and I'm going to go on Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to, rip my shirt off and, do this. I'm going to be interviewed by Stephen A. Smith talking about, different performances and, trash talking my son's opponents and whatnot. That's what he was doing up until one of his younger sons, who's on UCLA, got caught stealing in China while they were on a Chinese tour. And President Trump gets them out scot-free. And, all the players said thank you to President Trump. And apparently this guy, he tweets out to Trump something negative, and Trump goes back at him because he didn't say thank you to President Trump. It's, he wouldn't be in this bracket right now if not for that, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, forget about the WWE stuff. I mean, that's buffoonish in and of itself. But these kids, and we say kids, but they were like college kids, if I'm not mistaken, bro. So they're like, of adult age. They should know better than to be shoplifting in China, of all freaking places. The president went and got them out. The media likes to gloss over the fact that everybody said Trump was racist. President Trump was racist throughout the whole campaign. He gets these black kids, or young men, really, out of jail in China. And the father goes around and says, yeah, well, it's not really a big deal. He wasn't there for that. And you should have done it if he expected a thank you. Are you kidding me? This guy is so ungrateful and such a buffoon. It's unreal.
All right. So who you got in this matchup? Matt, who you got?
I am going to take the Resistance. I think LeVar Ball is ultimately a small-time player who talks a bigger game than he actually is.
Russ?
LeVar Ball is trash, but the Resist movement, it just has so many characters in there and will give us so much material going forward. I got to go with Resist.
I'm going with LeVar Ball. I love the guy. I want to see him. I want to see more of him in the brackets. And, the Resistance is so amorphous and so nebulous, and we got so many other representatives within other brackets that I want to see if LeVar Ball has legs here, So that's my pick. And now, finally, I gave my overall pick. I said Kathy Griffin's going to win it all. Russ, who's winning it all?
My hatred for the NFL runs so deep that I got to keep pushing that NFL. I got to. NFL.
All right. Matt, who takes it all?
I think Kathy Griffin is going to take it all, but I think the final is going to be Kathy Griffin versus the NFL. Just based on what I know of the wonderful, wonderful people who listen and read this blog.
Interesting. All right. Guys, tremendous show. Thank you so much for doing this. Matt, take a bow because you are one of the brain children of this effort. Tell everybody how they can find you on social media. And and also we're blaming you for this, by the way, so be ready for that.
Yeah, please.
Tell everybody how they can find you.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Fairleym, Fairleym, 1999.
All right. The easiest Twitter handle to remember. And it's time for final thoughts. Let's make them quick because we are so over time right now. Russ, final thought.
Final thought. I'm glad we're back on the air. Matt, I missed you. I hope you come on more often. That's my final thought. I'm not going to get all riled up tonight.
Aw, group hug. Matt, final thought.
I think it's been an interesting year. It's been one heck of an interesting year. No matter which side of the aisle you're on, you've had a lot to look at and say, Jesus, what were they thinking?
And that's a good way to leave it right there. I'm not even going to do one. Folks, I want to thank everybody for listening to the show, but we're going to shut this sucker down. We got to do it really quick. Thanks for listening. From the People's Republic of New York, we are out of here. Good night, folks.
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the Resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A rock radio production. Copyright 2016. Back in 7 days. Out.